Tonight on CTV News at 6, a young life cut short.
She was in grade 10 going to LaSalle Secondary School.
Remembering a pedestrian killed in Sudbury. Federal funding.
We are on track to hire 25 people from now until the end of the calendar year.
3 companies in Greater Sudbury are getting some financial help. And North Shore Firefighter Challenge.
This gives them good training opportunities to really expand their knowledge on how to save a life.
Teams are putting their strength and skill to the test.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Glad you're with us on this Friday, April 24th. A youth is in hospital following a collision in the Greater Sudbury community of Coppercliff last night. Police closed Godfrey Drive after a youth on an electric scooter and a pickup truck collided around 5 o'clock. The person was taken to hospital, then flown to Sunnybrook Health Sciences Centre in Toronto with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Police say they don't expect charges will be laid. It's been 1 week since a fatal pedestrian vehicle collision in Sudbury. Today, we are learning more about the teen, who she was, and how she will be remembered. That story from CTV's Lindsay Alick.
She was way too young.
Flowers lay at the side of the road where Grace Ranger lost her life.
It hurts a lot today because today was the day she was coming to visit me, and we were going to have our birthdays together. We were going to celebrate it together for the first time.
Grace would have turned 17 on April 30th. She is being remembered as someone who was loving and high-spirited, bright, kind, and a vibrant soul.
She was in grade 10 going to LaSalle Secondary School. She was very outgoing. She had a very big heart. Like, she wanted to make everyone feel welcome and cared for.
She adds that Grace loved playing roadblocks, watching Love Island, and anime.
She had a lot of dreams. There was so many things that she wanted to do, like career-wise. She was trying to figure that out herself, and she was taking that space and time to do all that. She was getting back into her tradition, going to ceremonies.
Grace is currently resting at the Rabbit Island Community Center in Wikwemikong on Manitoulin Island, with a traditional service taking place there tomorrow at 11 a.m. Meantime, a GoFundMe has been set up to cover funeral costs for the family. Greater Sudbury police say the investigation is ongoing and that there is no new information at this time. Nikina says the family wants the community to know that they do not blame the driver, adding that it was foggy at the time when the collision occurred. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
Timmins police and OPP have made an arrest in the murder of 48-year-old Yannick Boulay. Boulay was shot March 14th on Dwyer Avenue in Timmins. He was taken to hospital where he later died of his injuries. A 17-year-old from Toronto was arrested yesterday in Cochrane and charged with second-degree murder, careless use of a firearm, and several other weapons-related charges. Charges have been laid in a fatal collision that happened in Sudbury in January. A 20-year-old man faces careless driving charges after the death of a 59-year-old woman January 22nd. The woman was walking on Algonquin Boulevard and was involved in a collision that sent her to hospital, where she later died of her injuries. Police said at the time of the crash, the driver remained on scene and called emergency services. The 20-year-old will be in court June 12th to answer to the charges. We told you yesterday about the 2 mill closures in our region, one in Gogama and the other in Nairn Centre. Both are owned by Interfor. The company says ongoing weak market conditions and U.S. tariffs on softwood lumber are the reasons behind the move. For reaction, we've reached the mayor of Nairn and Hyman Township, Amy Mazie. She joins us from Gilroy, California, not far from San Francisco. Hi there, Madam Mayor.
Hi, thanks for having me. Yes, I've just had our 4th grandchild born, so I'm here to help. I'm out of town and things have happened. So
yes, back in your home community. Your reaction to the news, and how many workers are impacted by this shutdown?
You know, I almost hate to speak for Interfor. I would say that there's probably approximately, I mean, we'd have to check with them, but I would say when they were up and running full, it would be approximately 200 employees. But then there's also, you know, truckers, loggers, people that weren't directly employed by Interfor that will also be impacted.
And how does your community move forward from this news and after this news?
Well, there's actually a few things already happening. So we know that Espanola just a couple of years ago went through the shutdown of Domtar. We reached out to them the day that we got the news. We share an economic development officer with them, with the La Cloche region. And she's already experienced the Domtar shutdown. We're going to reach out to their union and their HR. There is a job fair already happening in Espanola for May 12th, but we're hoping to have a specific Nairn site job fair as well as soon as we can schedule it. We also have the Phenom conference that we're already registered to go to. So we've asked for some delegations just to reach out to the different ministries there, you know, Ministry of Northern Economic Development and Growth, Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry, and the Ministry of Rural Affairs, just to make sure everyone's completely aware of the situation and hope we can find some solutions or some sympathetic ears. Anything would be good.
Madam Mayor, what about those people who are impacted by this shutdown? So what's their next step? Do they go on EI, or some offer severance packages? Are there opportunities to maybe transfer or, you know, training opportunities there?
You know, this is so fresh. We're just getting our feet under us. We're not sure. We don't know what will be offered from the company. We do know that we will 100% be there to support our residents and the employees.
Madam Mayor, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. And yeah, there's always things happening in Nairn, but we'll pull through this. We're a tough, resilient lot, and everything will be fine.
That was Amy Mazie, the mayor of Nairn and Hyman Township. And the Federation of Northern Ontario Mayors reacting tonight. Phenom President Dave Pleward saying in a written statement, tariffs and trade uncertainty have real on-the-ground impacts in our communities, and is calling on the federal government to address softwood lumber tariffs and support the long-term sustainability of Canada's forestry sector. Let's shift gears and talk weather. A mix of sun and cloud on this Friday, and a little on the cool side. When is the temperature going to rise? To tell us more, here's CTV's Rick Wyman.
Tony, you keep on harping about warmer weather.
Yes, I do.
What do you want it to be, like 2025? It's coming. Don't worry, it's coming. Our systems map, courtesy of Environment Canada. But first, Tony, we've got to deal with the rain overnight and into tomorrow. Then it'll clear up. Then we'll get a couple of sunny days and some warmer temperatures. So stick around for that. We'll get into our currents. Not the greatest of nights across the Northeast. We've got some light precipitation in Chapleau and Sault Ste. Marie and in Wawa. But again, we'll get to that and a lot more coming up, Tony, in just a couple of minutes. So give me 2 days, then we'll have some warmer weather and back to sunshine. Back to you.
Good to hear. Thanks so much, Rick. States of emergency still to come on CTV News at 6. We head to French River and the latest on rising water. Right now, though, we're heading to Perry Sound and the town dock. This live webcam is from Northern Creations. We will return in a few minutes.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Now to the flooding in Northeastern Ontario, where more than half a dozen communities are under a state of emergency. That includes French River. As CTV's Ian Campbell tells us, officials say the next few days will be critical.
Highway 607 may be closed, but life has carried on in Dry Pine Bay. The Murdoch River has spilled its banks dangerously, covering the roadway, just one of a few sections being threatened by encroaching water levels.
Worst case scenario for French River is that we get another rain event like what we had last week or the week before. And that would be catastrophic at this point because the snow has melted in the upper watersheds and are now making its way to here.
Pajot says it's now in the hands of Mother Nature. The best case scenario would be more sunshine. It's clearly a prescription that Bob Yules would like to see more of. He lives in Dry Pine Bay. Yules says they love the area, its people, but they're not impressed with the water. He tells CTV News this will be the third year they've seen flooding in the boathouse. The first time they were told it was a 1-in-100-year event.
We've had to replace the walls inside the boathouse, and we've been lucky. We put down new flooring in the boathouse, but the water didn't seem to bother it the last time, and all we had to do was clean it up. And the funny thing was we had to clean the crayfish out of it.
It helps to have a sense of humor, but it's clear this comes at a cost. Financially, emotionally, and physically. At 81 years young, he needs back surgery. Thinking about having to sandbag by himself seems almost impossible. He says he'll do what he has to try and get it done.
It seems like every other year we're having flooding. So it's not a 100-year thing. Somebody, somewhere, is not paying attention.
In the meantime, the mayor's crediting other communities along the watershed and dam operators in making sure French River doesn't suffer alone. She's also encouraging out-of-towners to check on their seasonal properties.
The water will go up again, and so the little bit of water that you lost over this week is coming back. And what we're hoping is that it's not more.
There are some breathing a little easier knowing water has gone down in certain areas around the municipality. Others, however, are seeing water stabilize, some even seeing water continue to rise. Mayor Pajot says the community still has to be vigilant. She's put out a call for volunteers for Saturday in hopes of accomplishing 1,500 more sandbags. Ian Campbell, CTV News, Albin.
And the city of North Bay says sandbag operations will be open through the weekend as water levels on Lake Nipissing are expected to rise. Filling stations are available at Sunset Park, Champlain Park, and at Public Works on Franklin Street. The parks will be open this weekend from 9 to 5 and will be staffed. The filling station at Public Works is self-serve. The city is also adding auxiliary pumps at the wastewater treatment plant on Memorial Drive. Those will be on hand to discharge fully treated wastewater if needed. Meanwhile, the state of emergency has been lifted in the township of Chisholm near North Bay. The community posting on social media yesterday, all roads have reopened. The township is still cautioning residents that some areas remain soft due to water content. In Sudbury, the city is saying residential property owners affected by flooding and who do not have flood insurance could qualify for flood-related waste. The city is developing what it calls a flood waste relief program. Specific details on the program will be released next week. Meanwhile, residents cleaning up from flooding are asked not to put items at the curb that wouldn't normally be accepted by roadside collection. They're also reminding people the spring residential tipping fee holiday is May 11th to 16th at all Greater Sudbury landfills. Striking Alouette bus drivers in the North Bay area will be back behind the wheel Monday. In a vote today, drivers in West Nipissing voted 85% in favor of a 3-year deal that will see staff paid $21.35 by the third year of the contract. While this is good news for the drivers, Union President Stephanie Gunson says 5 routes have gone to another company, which means some members will be out of a job. A fire at a home under construction in the Greater Sudbury community of Garson last night. This was the scene in the 0 to 100 block of Birch Street just after 9 o'clock. Sudbury's fire chief, Robert Grimwood, telling CTV News crews were quickly able to extinguish the blaze, adding damage is minimal and there were no injuries. A Sudbury man convicted of dangerous driving causing the death of a 66-year-old woman in a head-on crash has been sentenced. CTV's Mike Arcelides reports on the tragic case.
Convicted of dangerous driving causing death with what the judge described as a cocktail of illegal drugs in his system, 55-year-old Leo Michel has been sentenced to 4.5 years behind bars, less time served in pre-sentence custody. Michel, who was initially out on bail, was arrested last summer in Sudbury when he absconded ahead of his pretrial. Michel pleaded guilty in November, admitting to crashing his Mitsubishi head-on into a Chevy Spark driven by 66-year-old Irene Youngblood at about 5 a.m., April 7, 2022, along Highway 12 near Coldwater. The court heard the vehicles were unrecognizable. Justice Howard Leibovich said while he found Michel was remorseful for his actions, the court heard Michel, who has a lengthy criminal record with 22 convictions dating back 30 years, had been sober for 18 years until his wife left him and he relapsed 2 years prior to the deadly crash. Found with cocaine, fentanyl, methadone, and THC in his system, Michel escaped the crash with a broken leg. Youngblood was a beloved school and city bus driver with Aurelia Transit. After being placed in a coma on a ventilator, Youngblood survived COVID, and she had just returned to work when Michel took her life. In a statement provided to CTV News following Michel's sentence, her family saying, "It's been a long 4 years of heartache and emotional suffering from our loss and reliving the awful tragedy of our mom's death. Our whole justice system is so very broken. We will never be happy with the outcome. He killed our mom by driving impaired and being reckless. Driving is a privilege. He abused that privilege, and our mom had to pay for that." As part of his sentence, Michel will be banned from driving for 10 years upon his release from custody. Mike Arsledes, CTV News, Barrie.
There have been several drug busts across the region in the last few days, netting police services over almost $205,000 in drugs. Anishinaabe police stopped a woman on Airport Road in Attawapiskat who they say was trying to bring more than $115,000 in various illegal drugs into the First Nation. Meanwhile, North Bay police arrested 2 men with nearly $80,000 in fentanyl and other drugs on charges of trafficking. And Timmins police stopped an impaired driver who they say was transporting $53,000 in drugs. For the latest on these and other headlines, visit our website, ctvnewsnorthernontario.ca. A major federal investment in Sudbury today will help 3 area mining, fabrication, and manufacturing companies respond to global trade pressures. CTV's Alan Everson tells us more.
Officials at Solirock say the company is home to the most advanced pipe fabrication shop in the Americas. It received $1 million through the Federal Regional Tariff Response Initiative.
If we want to be competitive globally with this tariff situation, there's no other choice but to invest in the facilities, increase productivity, lower costs, and just become more competitive.
The MP for Sudbury made the $3 million announcement, investing in 3 local businesses.
These companies have developed viable plans to be able to pivot away, whether that's from finding other customers or from sourcing other supply chains, more stable supply chains, or producing different products.
The companies say it's about adapting and growing.
We are on track to hire 25 people from now until the end of the calendar year. And as far as tariff reliefs, we are going to be able to manufacture more goods in-house right here in Sudbury, which will obviously relieve the tariff fees that we've been paying throughout our purchase orders.
With respect to tariff pressures, a lot of times there's uncertainty in the marketplace, and so a lot of times when you have that uncertainty in terms of what the products are selling for in that marketplace, this gives us some certainty on our production costs.
As the companies adapt to global trade pressures and build for the future, they confirm a total of over 40 jobs will be created by this federal investment. Alana Everson, CTV News, Lively.
Back now for a check on your current conditions. Once again, here's Rick.
Not the best of nights, but not bad overall. Tony, let's check out our forecast radar. We've got some precipitation moving in later on this evening. We've got some light rain right now. Sault Ste. Marie, Wawa, Chapleau. We'll get to that in just a moment with our current temperatures. And as we always start off in beautiful Moosonee, 2 degrees with the sunshine, Cochrane 5 with the sun, Timmins 8 degrees, sunny skies, Cap, sun and cloud at 11, not bad. Chapleau, the odd sprinkle coming up, 8 degrees there. Wawa, 4, light rain, 6 in Sault Ste. Marie. Also traces of light rain, light precipitation. Parry Sound, 15, cloud cover down Highway 69. North Bay, 14, sunny skies. Temiskaming Shores at 12, Kirkland Lake at 11. Meanwhile, in Greater Sudbury, more cloud than sun, a little bit of both. 12 degrees there. 14, Espanola, 13, Elliott Lake and Gore Bay at 11 with the sunshine. How about your pick of the day coming up? You'll like it tonight, just a couple of minutes away. Also, our 7-day forecast, and we'll run through the numbers and what you can expect in terms of precipitation for this evening. Tony?
Thanks so much for that, Rick. It has a new leader. Next on CTV News at 6. 22-wing Canadian Forces Base North Bay has a change of command ceremony. And the firefighter whose truck collided with an Air Canada jet heard stop, stop, stop. There's a new leader at the helm of the military base in North Bay. A change of command today at Canadian Forces 22-wing. CTV's Angela Gemmell was there.
The formal change of command afforded the troops the opportunity to witness the proceedings and actually see their commander.
The MC explains the history behind the formal traditional ceremony, while the outgoing and ingoing wing commanders and leaders of 22 Wing make it official.
Sean, you're inheriting an amazing team. They are not perfect, they will make mistakes, and they will do really weird things that will bewilder you. But they will also inspire you, they will lift you up, and they'll make you so proud.
The change of command ceremony is more about recognizing the accomplishments and saying goodbye to the outgoing commander. Colonel Joe Oldford got emotional when addressing the troops.
Every technician on a floor, every cook in a kitchen, every clerk in an office, every single person on this wing understands that we, the privileged few that get to wear this uniform and this flag, are the ones who accept risk, readiness, and hardship on behalf of all Canadians. You did not just do your jobs, you owned your mission. Congratulations.
The ceremony included some presentations to Oldford and an inspection before the incoming commander, Colonel Sean Guilbeault, spoke to the hundreds of military men and women who call 22 Wing home.
The plan's straightforward. We will continue to deliver operational excellence in all that we do, ensuring the delivery of combat capability to meet Canada's emerging defense needs and our no-fail mission to secure Canada and the United States. We get there by focusing on readiness.
Guilbeault says one of his priorities is modernization, given the changing geopolitical landscape.
Possible future airborne early warning and control, communication systems. We need to be able to ingest all of that to better our picture, to improve our air defense, and then work with whatever assets Canada chooses as future fighters, future ISR aircraft, to make sure that we're safe and secure at home.
Guilbeault was previously stationed here at 22 Wing CFB North Bay between 2014 and 2017. He'll hold the title of commander for the next 2 years. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, North Bay.
We're learning more about the fatal collision at LaGuardia Airport in New York last month involving an Air Canada jet and a fire truck. Investigators say a firefighter in that truck heard warnings from air traffic controllers.
Stop, 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 truck one, stop, stop, stop. Stop, truck one, stop.
National Transportation Safety Board investigators say the firefighters in the truck did not know who the controller was telling to stop, and once they did, it was too late. Investigators say the warning to the fire truck came after the truck was cleared to cross the runway 12 seconds before the plane touched down. The plane's 2 pilots were killed in the collision. 40 people, including 2 in the fire truck, were injured. Now to the latest on the trade battle between Canada and the United States, with the top American trade official threatening some form of enforcement action over the ongoing issue of wine and spirits. Several Canadian provinces pulled American alcohol from their stores last year after President Trump started this trade war. Speaking before a congressional hearing this week, U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer warned there may have to be an enforcement action to deal with the issue of wine and spirits. This as Canada's new ambassador to Washington, Mark Wiseman, told a Commons committee Canada is ready to start CUSMA negotiations with the United States and Mexico.
I'm not going to discuss the details of the Government of Canada's detailed strategy as it relates to the CUSMA review or the 232 issues here, but I will say that Canada is ready to go in our discussions. We are prepared. We have done our homework, and we are ready to proceed with each of Mexico and the United States forthwith.
The status of those talks is uncertain, with the U.S. Ambassador to Canada, Pete Hoekstra, recently saying there have been no serious talks since last fall. You might remember that President Trump terminated trade talks in October after Ontario ran an ad on American television featuring former U.S. President Ronald Reagan arguing against tariffs. Turning to the war in Iran, where the U.S. Secretary of War says Iran has a historic chance to make a good deal to end the conflict. During a briefing, Pete Hegseth warned the U.S. blockade of Iranian ports is growing and won't end.
The United States has imposed an ironclad blockade that grows more powerful by the day. From the Gulf of Oman to the open oceans, our Navy is enforcing this blockade without hesitation or apology.
Meantime, we learned this afternoon from Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt that a team from the U.S. is heading to Pakistan for peace talks to try and find an end to the Iran conflict. This after Iran's foreign minister says he held a phone conversation with Pakistani officials about the ceasefire. He says they spoke about regional developments related to the ceasefire, but gave no details. This after U.S. President Donald Trump has extended the current ceasefire indefinitely. And there's more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Rick.
It's here. The weekend is finally here, Tony. A little bit of rain to start things off overnight into tomorrow. Then it gets better. And as you had suggested earlier, Tony, some warmer temperatures along with the sunshine. This is what's happening for overnight and tomorrow. Then it starts to clear up. And once again, we get a better picture as to what we can expect in a couple of days. We'll take a look at some of the overnight conditions. 20 millimeters of precipitation, Greater Sudbury and western sections, according to Environment Canada. 4 degrees your high, or at least the low for this evening. Sault Ste. Marie, 10 to 15 millimeters. Timmins, clear skies. Temiskaming Shores, clear skies. A few clouds for North Bay as well. Meanwhile, clear in Mooseety, -2. Chance of showers, Caphurst. Wawa, showers, drizzle. 10 to 20 millimeters. Gore Bay and Parry Sound, shower activity as well. Now your numbers, Sudbury, Nickel Belt. Here we go. Showers for tomorrow ending around noon at 12. 16 Sunday. Nice day there. Monday, more sunshine, 17. Rain Tuesday at 11. Chance of rain Wednesday, 9 degrees your high, and 9 with the cloud cover come Thursday. Meanwhile, in Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, chance of drizzle after some precipitation overnight. We've got 12 degrees your expected high. Sunday, we've got 16 sunshine, 16 again on Monday with the sunshine. Rain Tuesday at 9. 8 Wednesday, sun and cloud, and Thursday, sun and cloud with a high of around 7 degrees. Let's have a peek now at Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing. Mainly sunny tomorrow at 10, 17 Sunday with the sun. Monday, sunshine 17. Here come the showers on Tuesday at 11. 8 Wednesday, cloud cover. Thursday, more cloud, and 6 degrees your expected high. Well below your normal, which should be at around 12 for this time of the year. Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake, mainly sunny tomorrow at 11. 16 Sunday, sunshine. Monday, sunshine, 18 degrees. Then the showers Tuesday at 16. Chance of showers Wednesday at 9. And cloud cover Thursday for 8 as we inch closer to the month of May. Want to start seeing some flowers. North Bay, West Nipissing. Mainly sunny tomorrow, 12. 17 Sunday, again with the sunshine. More sunshine Monday, 18. Showers on Tuesday, 14. Chance of showers Wednesday, maybe the odd sunny break as well at 11. And come Thursday, you've got sun and cloud with an expected high of 10 degrees. So earlier in the week, Tony was asking for some warmer weather. You get it. Sunday, Monday, then it starts to cool down Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in our forecast. Let's have a peek now, if you will. Madam Producer, with a look at our pick of the day. Lillian Pakula is pushing the right buttons here tonight. Stephanie Carlton. This is raging and flowing water from the South River Dam. This was taken on April 16th. Stephanie, a lot of emails that we have to get to, so I had to hold off on this, but this is nasty stuff. But a great pick nonetheless. Thank you so much for that. Stick around. The 3rd annual North Shore Firefighter Challenge kicked off today. Corey Nordstrom will have the latest coming up a little bit later on.
Learning how to manage money will soon be a mandatory part of Ontario's high school curriculum. Starting this fall, students in grade 10 will have to pass a financial literacy test to graduate. CTV's Tyler Fleming has the details.
For 17-year-old Noah Bertrand, money already matters.
You're starting to actually have expenses and things you have to pay for.
He works part-time and plans to study commerce and says learning the basics should be mandatory in high school.
The sort of transition between high school and the sort of real world, knowing a lot of that stuff about taxes and interest is very important.
Right now, learning about financial literacy is optional, but starting in September, students will need to pass a test in grade 10, scoring at least 70% to graduate.
I think it's a great idea.
The province says it's about balancing the books early, teaching teens how to budget, save, invest, and avoid scams. Parent Gaetan Purdy says it's long overdue.
When I was in high school, they did not teach that, so I think this program will help the kids help what we did our day-to-day lives financially.
The latest data from Statistics Canada shows younger Canadians carry nearly $1.70 owed for every dollar earned. Debt tied to school loans, credit cards, and car payments.
When you have knowledge about how your finances work, you can put guardrails in and say, okay, if things start going sideways, what do I do?
Money touches every part of life, and experts say learning discipline early is a skill young adults can take to the bank.
Then they'll be able to say no to a lot of these things because you're exposed to it 24/7 now with your phones, which is good for merchandisers, not so good for consumers. So you have to know how to say no. And I think that's a big thing too with the literacy, is knowing what your limitations are.
Yeah, I've got a bit of like money put away, RESPs and all that.
For Bertrand, the calculation is simple. Understanding money now can pay out down the road. Tyler Fleming, CTV News.
New details tonight on how many American doctors are choosing to move north. Ontario has seen a sharp jump, with close to 600 U.S. trained physicians registering to work in the province last year, many in Ottawa. CTV's Leah LaRocque has one doctor's story.
It's a walk to work that's starting to feel more like home for Dr. Jennifer Carnahan.
I think Ottawa is an amazing city.
The American doctor, originally from Indiana, moved here to take a new job at the Ottawa Hospital in geriatric medicine in February.
A lot of what we have to do in the United States is learn the health insurance system very well so that we are able to secure the best resources for our patients.
After years of working in the American private healthcare system, frustration was growing. On top of that, a rapidly changing political situation under the Trump administration.
It may sound a little bit extreme to say, but it did start to feel like health services research, medicine, science, it did start to feel like that was starting to come under attack.
She looked up north and found opportunity.
The Ottawa Hospital is very well known internationally.
The Ottawa Hospital says among the international recruits over the past 3 years, nearly 60% have been from the United States, totaling 22 physicians. In 2025, 570 U.S. physicians registered to work in Ontario. That's a 174% increase compared to 2024. The Ministry of Health says they've taken action by making it easier for U.S. licensed nurses and physicians to move to and practice in Ontario.
Is that there's a very different ethos of care here.
Carnahan says there are even social network groups growing of American doctors who are interested in moving to Canada.
In terms of the burden on time, it's actually kind of a luxury. I used to have to see, I think, at least twice as many patients, maybe 3 times as many in the same time period.
But now she's looking forward to a special rite of passage for all Ottawa residents.
I looked out the window and I saw people skating, like right when I first arrived, and I got so excited. It's like, there they are. So my goal for next winter is to actually skate on the canal. I'm hoping that happens.
That was Leah LaRocque reporting. The North Shore Health Network has launched a new collaborative program at its Blind River site. Victim Services programming was launched today to promote sexual assault victims with more supports. This includes evidence kit collection and trauma-informed resources for survivors. The program is in collaboration with the province, police, the town, and local First Nation, as well as several community partners. Information on the program is being distributed throughout the community, including secondary schools. Students at schools across the greater Montreal area wore mismatched shoes today. It's part of the first ever Impossible Pair push for inclusivity and respect. CTV's Christine Long has more.
At Royal West Academy, it was Casual Friday with a kick. 2 kicks, actually. Different colored ones.
Our mismatched shoes represent diversity.
Mismatched Pair Day aims to give the boot to bullies.
There's a lot of differences in society, but I think it shows everybody coming together and accepting those differences and, being able to love one another in communities and society.
The initiative is spearheaded by Stephen Bronfman and Andy Nullman, co-founders of PACT, which stands for The Power to Act.
I've been wearing 2 different shoes for a long time, and what it does is it sparks the conversation. People start talking, and nobody does not smile when they hear the reason why we're wearing 2 different shoes, that we can be different yet still get along.
That message is being shared widely as celebrities like Howie Mandel are wearing mismatched shoes and posting it to bring awareness and raise money for the cause. Donations are collected for organizations that fight racism, sexism, cyberbullying, and homophobia. Tame Abood doubled up on the anti-hate message.
Anti-bullying is associated with pink, so I decided to go for a pink outfit. And more than that, I feel like wearing mismatched shoes, it's less more about how it looks, but it's more the deep message behind it.
A deep message that insists on positive change.
We believe our students, our current leaders, our future leaders are the ones that are going to take matters into their own hands, and they're going to make sure that we push forward with an incredible message of hope.
PACT, the power to act, something Brianna Bramante has done.
By taking initiative and either going to the person who did the bullying or the person who was bullied just to see how they're feeling and if they need any outsider opinions or outsider advice.
They agree everyone deserves respect. Christine Long, CTV News.
The new law in Ontario caps prices. Still ahead on CTV News at 6. Ticketmaster has begun delisting tickets to comply with a provincial law. A weekend of training for North Shore firefighters is officially underway in Thessalon. This marks the 3rd year of an event that aims to keep skills sharp while allowing the public a closer look at the work done by these volunteer heroes. CTV's Corey Nordstrom has more.
The first day of this year's North Shore Firefighter Challenge saw volunteers from 7 northern fire services tackle as close to a real-life scenario as possible.
We had a passenger car, a passenger truck, a passenger SUV, and a transport all involved in the accident. The scenario was that we set up was a drunk driver was texting, caused the initial accident, which caused the chain reaction of other accidents, which is not far-fetched from what we see a lot of times.
The collision is made realistic by TransCan Services, who have been working with the Blind River Fire Department for at least 15 years.
If they don't have a working relationship with the tow operators in their area, they end up with a vehicle that's just sitting there. It's not very realistic for them. This gives them good training opportunities to really expand their knowledge on how to save a life.
The 3rd year event aims to showcase the work done by firefighters while they undertake necessary training. For some activities, teams of volunteers are formed with members of neighboring services, allowing for relationships to be built, something that's beneficial when real incidents require mutual aid from nearby departments.
The fact that they've got the same style of training and the same skill sets that we're used to, it really definitely helps out. It's familiar faces when you come into an emergency scene because you've got seconds, minutes to react and come up with a plan and help those in need.
This weekend's activities also represent extra training to help prepare these firefighters for certifications that are becoming mandatory in Ontario in the coming years. Tomorrow's events are all open to the public, with details available on the North Shore Firefighter Challenge Facebook page. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Thessalon.
After a long and cold winter season, residents in Greater Sudbury can now think ahead to spring and summer projects. The Sudbury Home Renovation and Style Show opens tomorrow at the Sudbury Community Arena, featuring contractors, home builders, and designers. It's sponsored by Sudbury Windows and Doors, and organizers say the numerous booths and industry professionals can address any home improvement question.
You should expect transparency. We're going to go through things with you and try to really help you get the renovations that you're looking at having done. Just remember the one side of the street's blocked off, so you have to go around to the actual parking because we're getting a new arena soon enough. Other than that, just a lot of fun and a lot of families.
Home show hours are 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. tomorrow and 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Sunday. Ticketmaster Canada making a change that will cap resale prices starting next week, at least in Ontario. The company announcing today that it supports Ontario's new legislation capping ticket resale prices and will no longer allow tickets for concerts, sports, and other events to be resold above the original price. The company says it has delisted resale tickets on its platform, and sellers will be able to relist them next week in compliance with the new law. The highly anticipated biopic Michael Moon walks into theaters this weekend. David Daniel has that and more in tonight's Hollywood Report.
I believe music could change the world.
It seems everyone has a go-to Michael Jackson song, including the cast of Michael.
I'll Be There, Jackson 5.
Off the Wall.
Yeah. And PYT. It's always go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say Baby Be Mine.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great one.
That's a great,
It's
a
banger. That song.
Yeah, I agree.
No, that
Don't stop till you get enough.
Michael is in theaters now.
In some kind of trouble. Are you all right?
You cannot let your past define who you are.
Also now in theaters, Ricky, starring Stephan James as a man trying to adjust to life after prison. The independent drama won the U.S. Dramatic Directing Award at last year's Sundance Film Festival.
Acapella has become cool since Pitch Perfect. 600 groups, 12,000 students competing every year.
Just Sing looks at a college a cappella group trying to maintain its status as one of the best in the U.S. The documentary opens this weekend in New York and Los Angeles and expands to more cities this spring. Staying in tune in Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
The federal government has approved Enbridge's plan to expand a natural gas pipeline in British Columbia. BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez has more.
The Sunrise project will expand the capacity of the West Coast pipeline system by 17%. That's about 300 million cubic feet more a day. The build-out expected to add about $3 billion to the Canadian economy and aligns with Ottawa's push to make Canada an energy superpower. Construction expected to begin in the summer. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 73.18. West Texas Intermediate down 94 cents to 94.91. Western Canadian Select is up $1.80 to 74.85. And the TSX lost 8 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold up $13.28, closing the day at $47.09.59 U.S. an ounce. Silver up 9 cents to end the day at $75.68. Copper moved forward 3 cents to $5.98, and nickel down 4 cents, ending the day at $8.34 U.S. a pound. And Rick is back now for one last look at your Saturday weather.
Well, Tony, Northeastern Saskatchewan had 78 centimeters of snow, part of a major storm affecting all the prairie provinces and really Saskatchewan and Alberta. A lot better here. We've got rain, we've got showers in the morning, 12 degrees in Greater Sudbury. Timmins 10, mainly sunny. Chance of drizzle in the Sioux for tomorrow. Of course, overnight rain in some sectors. North Bay 12 degrees, mainly sunny. Parry Sound 12, some shower activity and mainly sunny. Temiskaming Shores, 11 degrees. So all in all, it's not too bad. You'll get your warmer weather and some sunshine, Tony, coming up as well.
Good to hear. Thanks, Rick. And finally, a giant troll is turning heads in small town Iowa. This huge wooden troll rises 2 stories. It's the new pride and joy of the Museum of Danish America in Elkhorn, Iowa. Danish artist Thomas Dambo is the man who created this 7-meter-high masterpiece. Dambo says the troll depicts the migration of Danes to the Midwestern prairies in the late 1880s. It's one of 176 sculptures he's created in his Denmark studio and installed around the world. And folks, thanks for watching CTV News at 6. I'm Tony Ryma. More news comes your way at 11:30 with Ian Campbell. Good night and have a great weekend.